Hey, friends! Welcome to the Swing My Heart podcast. Come join me, your host, Nicole, for some hope filled conversations about heartfelt entertainment that makes your heart swing. Hey, Hallmarkies! Welcome to the Swing My Heart podcast. I'm your host, Nicole, joined today by my friend Dara from Dear Hallmark to chat about The Snow Must Go On, starring Corey Cott and Heather Hemmons. It was written by Scott Damian and Heather R. Provost and directed by Jeff Beasley. Welcome back to the podcast, Dara.
Thank you for having me, Nicole. It's great I love what you've done with the place, how you've decorated for the
Yeah.
holidays. I love it here. Thank you for inviting
Well,
me
thank
back.
you. Of course, always happy to have you on the podcast. Got my reindeer ears.
I love it.
I figured those would fit with
That makes
the
sense.
musical that's in the movie,
Yes.
and then my Hallmark Channel shirt.
Yes, I did come with the festive shirt with the
Yes,
truck and it says fir, cedar, spruce. That reminds me of the three wise men when
yep,
Stefan was talking about the trees.
yes. Oh,
So,
classic scene. Let's get to the reason why we are here, which is the snow
yes.
must go on. What were your first snow impressions of this movie?
Ooh, first of all, I like how you did that. My first snow impression of the movie, I want Corey Cott to sing to me 24 hours a day. Just on a loop. I want him to sing me to sleep. I want him to sing me awake. I want him to sing me so I can focus on work. I just want him to sing all the time. I was captivated by his voice. I wasn't ready. I knew he did Broadway. I was aware of that. I just wasn't aware of the power of his voice. And his voice blew me away and it captivated me. And you would have thought I was at a concert the way I was reacting to the TV after every time he sang. And what I love with Jeff Beasley being a part of this is that I know he is adamant about having the singers sing live instead of it being on a recorded track, which I appreciate because you get to hear the realness, like you get to hear them really sing instead of like lip syncing to a recorded track. And I knew with Jeff Beasley attached, it was going to be great because he brought us A Carol for Two last year.
Yes.
So that was my long story of saying that I enjoyed this movie a lot.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it too. I do have some thoughts that I'll share, but I mean,
Mm-hmm.
overall, I thought it was a cute movie. There were some things I would maybe change, but
Mm-hmm.
I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, me
Right.
too. Me too.
So going to Candy Canes and Coal, which is highs, lows, and plot holes, what were some strengths and maybe weaknesses in this movie for you?
So I'll start off with some weaknesses and end on the strengths so we can end on a good note. I thought the romance wasn't as strong as I wanted it to be. It kind of felt thrown in. It to me, this was another that I felt like really didn't need the romance. I would have been fine without it if it was just him discovering how much he needs the love of his family and friends and not necessarily a romantic love. I would have been fine with that. And there was another movie, I'm trying to remember which one, but there was another movie this season that kind of had the same feeling where it's like I didn't need the romantic love in that. Oh, I think it was the Keller Family Vacation, where it's like I sometimes I feel like the romance is forced, and so that's how I felt with this movie, and that was probably the biggest weakness for me. And then the strengths: Corey singing, Heather's outfits, beautiful. I just love Heather Hemmons in general.
Mhm.
I just love her. I love seeing Stephanie Sy again. She played Cindy Santos, that Corey Cott's character was, or that Isaiah was trying to impress, and she's an actual Broadway star as well. And we saw her last year in A Carol for Two, and so she was one of my favorite parts of this. I enjoy watching her on screen. And I loved also the plot of like the bad boy or the boy who is too cool, or like he skateboards and does all this, but he's really a theater kid on the inside. Like I enjoyed that. And plot holes, I wouldn't say there were plot holes, but of course in Hallmark fashion, with them trying to do a play in 3 weeks and then everything just coming together at the last minute. Of course that's not realistic, but it's like sometimes you just gotta, it's Hallmark, it's Hallmark, it's Hallmark, it's Hallmark, and not really think about it too hard. But yeah, overall, I think the strengths for me outweighed the weaknesses for this movie.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
So for highs or strengths in this movie for me, strong
Hmm.
musical performances, with Corey singing
Yeah.
and the high school kids singing as well. I thought that their voices all meshed really well together. Fun premise for theater lovers. I mean, I'm not a huge Broadway fan, but I do enjoy Broadway. I loved that they brought in that concept. I thought it was really fun. I thought there was some great humor in the movie, great
Yes.
ensemble cast,
Yes.
everyone that you have mentioned, and then the positive message throughout the movie
Hmm.
I thought was great. And then for some lows, I thought that maybe the pacing and development of some of the subplots could have been improved just a little bit. Like I felt like they focused on maybe one plot more than the other.
Yeah. Hmm.
And then also just a little bit of predictability. But that is Hallmark, which is completely okay. It's still an enjoyable movie. So,
Exactly. Sometimes
yeah,
you got to pick and choose what you're going to
yeah,
close your eyes to and what, things
yeah.
like that. So,
It's nice to have that predictability. So,
yeah.
yeah. And then also, of course, I love Corey as an actor. He's fantastic. But I feel like in the beginning of the movie and throughout a lot of it, his character was a little unlikable because of him trying to insert himself into the play to get the role.
May I ask you a question about
Yeah.
that? So, is there a movie where there was a character that was unlikable but it worked for you? Because I'm wondering, like, with some of the characters, because I'm thinking back to a Machu Picchu proposal with Rhiannon and Alex Santos.
Yeah.
Speaking of Santos, um,
Yeah.
that male, that character, the leading character for me in that was unlikable to the point of not being redeemable, and that brought the movie down for me. Whereas I'm wondering with this, with Isaiah, him having some flaws, like did is like I was okay with that because I guess there was a redeemability to it, like there was a redemption
Yeah.
to it in a way. So for you, I'm wondering if there ever was a male character or just a character in general that you have seen, whether it's through When Calls the Heart, Signed, Sealed, Delivered, or through other movies where you feel like they have an unlikable character trait, but it ended up working out in the end.
Oh gosh. Um, so that's a tough question. You're putting me on the spot, Dara.
I know, but I'm so curious because
No, it's okay.
I wonder about that sometimes, like what
Um,
goes into people, like it being okay for some and then not
yeah.
okay for others, you know?
I think one that just really sticks out that has been a fantastic character arc,
Hmm.
like from not likable at all to likable. Actually, I'll mention two, and they're both from When Calls the Heart.
Okay, okay.
So, Pascal Hutton, her
Oh
rival
wow.
in season one,
Oh okay.
everyone hated Rosemary because she was previously engaged to Jack. So when she came into town, she was still after Jack. She
What?
was still interested in Jack, even though she was the one that broke his heart.
I never knew that about the storyline. That's wild.
Yeah, everyone hated Rosemary, but she's become one of the most beloved characters on the show now.
Yeah, I see that. That is wow. What a
Yes.
jump.
Yes. And then I think the other one I'll mention, Henry Gowan, played by Martin Cummins.
Okay.
He was very hated too because he was basically the villain in the early seasons, especially season one. He was the one that ran the mine. He did a lot of bad things in the town, but
Okay.
he has come around. He has redeemed himself. He's had a redemption story that has
We love
been,
a good redemption story.
yeah, another great arc to watch and so well written on the show.
Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you for sharing that. Okay.
of course, yes. But I think for me, for
Yeah.
this movie, even
Hmm.
though he was unlikable in the beginning to I'd say maybe middle of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't think of his character as unredeemable. Like he did have
Gotcha.
some redeemability to him.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I understand why it was probably written the way that it was. I think that he just got so caught up in
Yeah.
wanting that starring role on Broadway.
Yeah. I think I'm going to pose this question on Instagram. It's so interesting the difference between character flaws with a likable character and then just having a complete unlikable character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like how that resonates with people and even finding like someone that you may think is likable
Mhm.
that you may see as a character flaw, but you're like no, but that's a part of the story. Like that's a part of his character. Whereas some people may just take it as, oh, well, I don't like him. Like he's just completely unlikable. I'm so curious what goes into people's kind of thought
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
processes with that. Yeah.
He did redeem himself in the end, and I really appreciated that.
Yeah.
And I think when an actor can portray a character that is unlikable, at least, part of the time, whether it's on a TV show or a movie, it shows what a great actor they are, like the versatility.
Yeah. Yeah. This is so interesting. So
Yeah,
thank you for sharing.
of
That
course.
really, yeah, that got me thinking.
So going to Scene Slayer, which is Scene Stealer, what were the 3 to 5 best scenes for you in this movie?
The opening scene off the rip
Right.
because he
Yeah.
was so overly dramatic and I ate it up. I
Yeah.
ate it up. I laughed so loud and so hard. It was ridiculous. And then it was more so the way that the scene jump cut in between two was when Isaiah didn't get that first audition that he went into the huge room for with all the other guys, and then he said, "Well, at least I still got my day gig." And then jump cut, you're fired. And like the way that went off was hilarious, and I loved it. And then one that I think was just really endearing was when I think his name was Steven, the kid who ended
Yes,
up
Stephen.
getting into the play. But when he first sung "We Three Kings,"
It was cute.
or he was listening to "We Three Kings," no, yeah, he sung it on stage
Yeah.
because that is the song for some reason that's been sticking with me this holiday season. And so when he, first of all, the fact that he sung it, I was like, look at that little theater kid blossoming outside of the bad boy or whatever. And then just the fact that he sung "We Three Kings," like that song just has a special place in my heart right now. So I would say those three are
Yeah.
kind of like highlighted scenes for me. Hmm.
Those were great scenes. I actually wrote down Steven's audition in my honorable mentions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even joking. Every time I hear We Three Kings, it's a great Christmas song, by the way.
Yeah.
I think of the Christmas play that I was in a couple of times before I transferred to the co-ed school. So the all-girls school that I went to for 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
every Christmas, and they still do it to this day, they put on a Christmas production. And as far as I know, it's the same script. And the senior girls, they all get to be angels in the play. They cast Mary, Joseph, all the classic roles in a Christmas play. They even have jesters and they have a Christmas choir. And one of the songs that is sung during the play is We Three Kings. So I think of that play every time I hear that song.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yes.
Oh
So
man.
fun. I can't remember the first role that I had in the Christmas play. It was when I was in elementary school. I don't know for sure what grade. I would have to ask my mom or dad. But in middle school, I think I was a jester twice.
Twice.
Twice. And I got to go down the aisle of the church and do the hands and turn around. It was so
What
fun.
was what did your costume look like for that?
I think the jester costume was purple and gold and maybe green. And we had the
Like
hat.
the traditional, okay, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. I was curious. Okay, what?
Yep.
Oh man. Okay.
So fun. I think it was the last year of middle school, 8th grade. I was in the choir. So our music class, we performed at the Christmas play. So
That is cool. That's really cool. So you have some theater experience.
yeah, tour, yeah. Yeah, theater is fun. I did take some drama classes.
Yeah. I did a couple of church plays for Christmas.
Yeah.
And I'm literally, I didn't want to say this, but I'm working on a Christmas play now for my church. So this movie was a little bit triggering as well.
Oh,
I was like, no, I'm doing the same thing for my
my
church.
goodness. I'm sure you'll do a great job.
Oh, I can
Yes.
feel your love and encouragement already. Thank you
Yes.
so
You're
much.
welcome.
Yeah.
But going back to the movie, I think some of
Yes.
my top scenes, Isaiah and Lillian's conversation while enjoying the Christmas lights.
Oh,
I think
that was
that was
cute.
when they were on the picnic blanket.
That was cute.
And
Yeah.
then them at the Christmas market and their talk during the movie. They're walking around
Mm-hmm.
next to, some of the booths and they're talking
Mm-hmm.
about their Christmas traditions. And then the brother-sister conversation with Isaiah and Jess about making new Christmas memories. And, she is struggling to move on because of her divorce. And he's encouraging her that she should move on and open her heart again. So I thought that was a really sweet moment.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Isaiah and Lillian's Christmas tree shopping and the dance in the theater. And then I really loved when Isaiah steps in to help Miranda and the cast sing Silent Night.
Oh, yeah.
Who do you think had the best performance in this movie?
I feel like Corey Cott's still the show.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like his
yeah,
singing alone is still ringing in my ear in the best way.
yeah, I agree.
So yeah, that would be who
I'll
I
give
would
it to
pick.
Corey too, even though everyone did a great job.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
So, what do you think is the best quote of this movie for you? If you wrote one down.
Mm. You go first. I'm gonna still ruminate on that.
Okay. So, one that I wrote down, I wouldn't say it's the best quote, but it's one that made me laugh. And it's at the very beginning when Isaiah has arrived home. His sister, Jess, I guess, picked him up at the airport. And he's standing in front of their house and he says, "Who knew car horns could be so zen?" And then she honks on the horn.
That was funny. That was funny. Yeah.
Yes. But the one that I think really stuck with me and that sends a good message is
Hmm.
someday is the one day that'll never come until you make time for it. Isaiah
Yes.
to Lillian.
Yes. You know, now that I think about it, it's a line that is so kind of throwaway, but I think it meant a lot because I related to it so much. When Lillian had said to the kids, the second act would be done by tomorrow. And then they're walking through the hallway and he's like, what you mean it's gonna be done by tomorrow? Like I can't do this. And then she was like, "You don't need to have it all." I'm paraphrasing. She said to something to the effect of like, "You don't need to have it all done right now, but at least have like a concept or something." I literally had to go like that happened to me this past week with this script
Oh my
for the
God.
Christmas play. So like when I tell you this movie is like I'm living this movie right now, except the play isn't a musical, but I am living this movie. Like that's what I only gave them half the script to start off with because so that they can at least have something to start off with. And then I wrote the second half and then we're still making tweaks to it. But like that was something where it's like taking the pressure off of yourself,
Yeah.
but also not being afraid to ask for help and not being afraid to do it with others. That was something that I took from the movie as well.
Oh, that's great.
Like personally, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
not being afraid to take notes from people,
Mhm.
ask for help, different things like that. So,
Yeah. Love that. Yeah. Going to Behind the Garland, which is behind the frame. What were your thoughts on the director's vision from Jeff in this movie?
yeah, he does no wrong when it comes to these musicals. I got no
Yeah.
notes.
No notes.
He knows what he's doing. Like clearly he knows what he's doing and he loves it and he appreciates the talent that he's working with. So I,
No.
if I want to nitpick, I would have loved to hear Stephanie Sy sing because I know she
Yeah.
can. If I had to like nitpick, but that's just me being extra.
Yeah.
So
Great. Yeah.
yeah.
No notes except for the fact that I loved how he integrated Broadway and the, cozy Christmas feel with
Hmm.
emphasis on, I think, Isaiah's character arc. So he did a great job with that.
Yeah.
And
Mr.
then,
Beasley knows what he's doing.
yes, he does. Your thoughts on the cinematography and the production design. So the cinematography goes to Paul Sutterman. I apologize if I mispronounce your name. And then production design, Jesse Peterson.
Oh, I loved it. Nothing was so egregious that it bothered me or disrupted my viewing of the movie. Nothing stuck out that was like a sore thumb. Like I was able to enjoy the movie to the point where I almost forget, that that's a part of making a movie. Like I felt like I was in this story. So kudos to them. Like everything felt real. Yeah, kudos to them.
So cinematography, I thought that Paul had some great shots in the movie. I think one of my favorites, oh, that's really tough. Mm, Probably in the scene when Isaiah and Lillian are slow dancing in the
Oh,
theater,
the light.
like with
Yes,
the lighting
the lights.
and the Christmas tree.
Because that gave you a Broadway feel too, because it
Yes.
almost felt like you were on stage with them.
hmm Exactly. Yes. Production design, which of course that's the sets. I thought that it was really well done with the, difference between the New York City environment that we saw in a couple of scenes at the beginning
Hmm.
and the end of the movie, and then the cozy, festive decor of the small town with beautiful Christmas decorations.
Yes, gorgeous Christmas decorations. I
Yeah.
agree. I agree.
Christmas markets, garland, wreaths, all
All
the
the
things.
things. All the things, yes.
Jinx, you owe me a soda.
Ah!
And then what are your thoughts on the music and costume design? So music, I sincerely apologize once again if I'm mispronouncing your name. Medhat and Bali. And then
Yeah.
costume design, Charles Botiger. So what are your thoughts on their work in this movie?
The music was flawless. I
Yes.
mean, no notes. And
Yeah.
then I loved Heather's outfits. I mean, I know the costume designs for everything, but like I was obsessed with Heather's looks in this movie. And I will say the onesie or like Christmas sweatsuit that he had when he first that was crazy cool.
Yes.
I was like the confidence you need to walk out the house in that. And even when Lillian and Isaiah first meet, she's like, "Yeah, how work a room?" And she called it pajamas, like she thought they were pajamas. He was like, "It's a Christmas sweat set," but I thought it
Yeah,
was
that's great.
cool.
I love the balance between the Christmas classics and some original songs that we heard in the Broadway
Yes.
in the High School Musical, not Broadway musical,
Every time I hear High School Musical, I just think Vanessa Hudgens,
High
Zac
School
Efron.
Musical.
I can't like
Yes.
it's, I'm trained to think that way. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't help it. I
Yep.
can't help it.
My Disney Channel loving heart.
Come on. Disney Channel trained me, okay? This is their fault, right? This is their fault.
And then the costume design I really loved. I thought that, all the wardrobe fit the characters' personalities. And then the festive color palette with the reds and the greens and the whites. And I think there were some blues in there.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So well done. And I probably would totally wear some of Heather's outfits.
Yes. She had this gorgeous blue sweater in the beginning when they're in the
Yeah.
office. That totally caught my eye. I love that shade of blue. It's so
Yes.
beautiful.
And then, of course, I thought that the costumes for the High School Musical were Great.
Adorable. Oh my gosh. I was like, oh
Reindeer
my
ears?
gosh, where can I get those reindeer onesies?
Yes. Yep, and the reindeer ears they wore.
Yes.
So well done. And then what are your thoughts on the editing, which that credit goes to Chad Tremblay?
Oh, again, my one of my favorite scenes was the jump cut between when he said that at least he got his day gig, and then jump cut, you're fired. So like
That was
I
great.
love that. I thought that yeah, when a movie is this good to the point where I don't even that stuff doesn't even like I can't even consider that stuff because it's just so seamless. No notes. That means they did their job. They did their thing. So hats off to everyone.
And I thought that he did a nice job with the seamless integration of the musical numbers too. So.
Well, like that scene when Isaiah is first sitting in his room and he's holding the cup, and then he's
Hmm.
like the song comes, and then the
Yeah,
transition between.
that was
What'd you
great.
think of that? Yeah,
I
yeah,
think that was my favorite.
yeah,
Yeah. So well done to Chad.
yeah.
Going to Beyond the Mistletoe, which is beyond the credits. What were some themes in this movie for you?
Themes, I would say definitely community impact, like doing things together. And I would say another theme is courage. Like with, is her name Miranda? Cindy Santos's
Yes,
daughter?
Miranda.
Her just having the courage to, not be nervous and kind of work past her stage fright. And then also, and you mentioned this about Isaiah, the theme of kind of getting outside of yourself
Yes.
to realize what's going on around you. Literally, we just talked about this. It was either Sunday or Wednesday at church. We all got stuff going on, but it's like being able to kind of get outside of yourself and tune into what others are doing and, being there for others.
Yeah.
What were some that you thought?
So I wrote those down too.
Ah!
Also, reassessing priorities and ambition. I
mm,
think that's actually one that you were just talking about with
yeah,
Isaiah. And, his journey from being a little on the self-absorbed side, Broadway obsessed, to someone who discovers that fulfillment in life shouldn't come from your career, so to speak, but,
yeah,
your family, your friends, your
yeah,
community, focusing on what's important, which goes into my next theme, the value of community and connection, which you were also saying.
cheers.
Small town setting, High School Musical, everyone coming together to help
hmm
put on this production, supporting one another, combining talents, love, family, and friendship. Isaiah's interactions with his sister, his niece, the students, and Lillian. I think that was a big thing in this movie. He reconnects with his family, and then, of course, he meets Lillian and the other students at the high school, which I thought that theme was really done nicely. And then mentorship
Yeah.
and guidance.
Yes, like with her being a guidance counselor, then him like mentoring. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yes. It's not the same person that it was when I was there, but
Yeah,
I had a great guidance counselor at both high
me
schools.
too. Yeah, I still keep in touch with mine.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We follow each other on Facebook, and I think she follows me on Instagram, if I'm
Oh,
not
that's cool.
mistaken. But we definitely still keep in touch, which is really cool.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was going to ask if you had a good guidance counselor in high school. So,
I did. How
yeah.
about you? Did you?
Yes, both
Yeah.
times. Everyone needs a good guidance counselor in high
Yes,
school.
indeed.
And then the last theme that I wrote down was finding joy in the imperfection.
Oh, man, that's so wow. Yeah, that is super personal for me because
Mm.
I can get so caught up. Like as I'm working through this play, a big thing for me is to not get caught up in it being perfect. And as I'm, because the play is surrounding, like I'm working with kids for this, so it's like not, and I'm telling them, oh, you don't have to be perfect, da 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 da. But yet for me, I'm putting this pressure on myself to be this perfect director and da 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 da. But it's like finding literally what you just said, finding joys in the imperfections and just allowing myself the space to enjoy the journey of doing something like this for the first time. And so that's a heavy hitter for me.
Yeah.
For real. Yeah.
So, what is the overall message for you in this movie, and how do you think that that message applies to today?
I'm going to rephrase it a little bit and say the message that impacted me the most from this movie sort of ties into what we were just talking about with the joys of imperfection, but like doing something together,
Mhm.
kind of being able to call on, rely on others, like getting outside of yourself to do something for others, but knowing that you don't have to do it by yourself. You never have to do anything by yourself. Like there can always be someone or some people who can come alongside of you and help you. You just have to be courageous enough to step outside of yourself and ask.
Yeah.
And so we could see that just through the theme of community that you and I both highlighted within this movie of even everyone coming together towards the end because the suppliers pulled out. Spoiler alert, because the suppliers pulled out in terms of the set and different things like that. So that one really, I was just like, oh, if that could happen in my real life. Oh my gosh, I wanted that so bad.
The message I took away from it, and what I think that the film is emphasizing, is that true fulfillment and happiness are found not in chasing personal glory or external validation, but in nurturing relationships, contributing to your community, prioritizing love, family, and friendship, as well as showing that, sometimes in order to find where you really belong and what really matters in life, you need to step away from maybe your dream that you have.
Ooh, so eloquently
Oh,
said.
thank you.
So eloquently
Yes,
spoken.
thank you. Like we saw with Isaiah's arc in this movie, he was so
Yeah.
focused on that
On the
Broadway
on
role.
that audition, yeah. Yeah, self-absorbed. You when you said that word, that was the word that I kept trying to think of earlier and describe it like being self-absorbed. Like you're so consumed. He was so consumed with kind of which is I mean, I can like he wanted to get back to his glory days,
Yes.
you know, which is not a bad thing, but when
Yeah.
it consumes you to the point where you're neglecting the needful things, which is kind of what this movie, like you said, was showing, that's where it becomes an issue. So,
Yeah. And how I think that it applies to today is, I think a lot of people sometimes struggle with that,
yeah,
what their true fulfillment is. And I think this movie was a good lesson that it doesn't come from, your career. It comes from being with the people you love,
yeah,
serving your community, and, prioritizing those special relationships that you have.
yeah. Which can be hard
Yeah,
if we're honest, but it's like doing the work, kind of being intentional. You know, I think, and making that push in the even though it feels hard, it's worth it in the end. You know.
for sure. Yes. Always love a good movie with a good message to it. So,
Yes, I agree. And I feel like that's been a theme in our movies this year. Like they've been coming through with some strong messages
yes.
as of late within these
Yeah.
movies. So
Yes.
I'm here for it.
Yeah. Going to Final Sleigh Bell, which is Final Frame. What are your closing thoughts on this movie? Watch or skip? And then your rating on a scale of 1 to 5. Candy canes.
Okay,
Or
so
reindeer ears.
okay, okay. So this is definitely a watch. I for anyone watching and or listening to this, both of your eyeballs and both of your ears need to be tuned into this movie because it is fantastic. I again completely captivated by Corey Cott. Loved Heather Hemmings. Loved the kids. Enjoyed them. Enjoyed the family aspect. Everything just worked for me. This movie is solid. I would definitely watch it. I am going to watch it again. And this gets a solid 4 candy canes and 4 reindeer ears for me.
I would say definitely watch. It is a very enjoyable movie. Even though it's not highly ranked on my list,
Mm-hmm.
I still thought it was great with the acting and the directing and the writing. I thought was great, especially with the messages that we were just talking about. And I rated it, I think, 3.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd. So
Yeah. Okay.
just a
Yeah.
little below yours, but still
Yeah.
3.5 out of 5 to 5 out of 5 is
It's
my
A-okay in my book.
yeah. Yes. If
Yeah.
it's below 3.5 stars, kind of hit or miss for me. Yeah.
Were there any movies this season that came below 3.5? You don't have to mention them, but just saying, like, were there
Yes, there
any?
was one that I've seen
There
so.
was one. Okay. Okay.
We'll
I'm
talk
curious.
after.
Yeah, I'm very curious what that one was. Okay.
But anyway, Hallmarkies, I think that concludes our review of The Snow Must Go On. If you enjoyed this episode and are watching on YouTube, you can like this video and share your thoughts about the movie in the comments. If you are listening on Spotify, make sure to rate and review as your feedback is always greatly appreciated. If you want to stay up to date on all of my episodes, you can subscribe to this channel on YouTube and follow along on Spotify, and make sure to hit the bell so you are alerted when those new episodes are posted. You can also find the podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at Swing My Heart Podcast and Twitter at Swing My Heart Pod. You can also find Dara on Instagram at Dear Hallmark and wherever you find your podcast. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time. Love y'all. Bye.
Bye.